on the Gophers Sports Network from Learfield. Welcome to Gopher Basketball Weekly with Niko Medved. Brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings, the official sports bar of March Madness. Now, here's the voice of the Gophers, Mike Grimm.
Off and running. It's another edition of Gopher Basketball Weekly with Niko Medved. Nice crowd here, all wearing maroon and gold. The Minnesota Golden Gophers coming off of a Sunday victory over Texas Southern 89-53. I am Mike Grimm along with Justin Gard. He has made his way here to Buffalo Wild Wings. Hello.
Great to be back.
Yeah, good to see you. And Niko Medved, the head coach, the man of the hour. Good to see you.
Good to see everybody.
Always fun coming off of a win to come over and talk about it. And that was a fun day Sunday at the barn.
It was a fun day. Guys kind of came out of the gates early and made some shots. And we had some great performances, as a team and individuals. And crowd got into it a little bit. So, yeah, it was a fun way to go into finals.
27 assists on 28 field goals, 29 field goals. Have you had numbers like that ever at any stop? That's pretty good. That's pretty efficient.
That's pretty efficient.
And it was like 25 of the first 25 field goals.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah.
We've had a lot of games where we've had a really high, assist rate. I didn't know at that point, that it was 100% for most of the game until the end. And I gave Bobby Durkin a hard time after the game. And the only unassisted field goal we had was his steal for a layup. And I'm like, if Dirk hadn't have screwed that up, we would have won 100%. And I don't know if I've ever seen a game like that.
Right?
Somebody, to pass it to or whatever. But no, that was pretty encouraging to see.
And you mentioned a lot of the great performances. The headliner, of course, was Cade Tyson, 38 points. Eighth most points scored ever in a game for any Gopher, and 8 3-point baskets, tied for most. I think 6 guys now have made 8 3-point baskets in a game. He had a 9th in the air. It was right on line, just a little strong. That would have been him all alone at 9 3-pointers.
I normally don't do this. I was going to take him out. We don't have a lot of subs, obviously, so he had to play, and there was about 3.5 minutes to go, and I was just gonna take him out. And somebody on our staff said, hey, Cade's only 1 3 away from, they said setting the school record for threes. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to dial up something for him here the next time. And then, of course, the game started. We had the play dub. He said, well, it would just tie the record. So we run in the play. He makes it for number 8. And I'm like, they're like, take him out. I'm like, you know what? We came down the floor, and I'm like, shoot it. Just shoot it. Shoot it, whatever. And I normally don't do that, but I'm like, the kid's just giving us so much. I'm like, you don't get this opportunity very often. And he kind of shoots that step back, and I thought it was down.
Yeah, it was right on line.
I told him after the game, like, geez, Cade, you choked your opportunity. You know what I mean? In a way. I have that Minnesota sarcasm, going on, but he's such a great young man. But yeah, what an unbelievable performance.
That was going to be on my list of questions were you aware of what the situation was for him trying to keep him in? And do you have a guy, so to speak, on staff that can keep you, abreast of that?
I had no idea, and honestly, I don't even pay attention to that stuff. And most of the time, you're not. But I'm like, well, we don't really have many subs, so we'll leave him in. And I did not know until about the 3-minute game, mark in the game to go. So I don't even remember who it was on staff that told me. So, but yeah, it's one of those things that they're aware. And I don't know if even Michelle had said something she probably did, right, to somebody on
We're getting
staff.
the confirmation.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it was probably Michelle.
We'll give her full credit. Yeah.
Fed it to somebody on staff or Joe, and then it just kind of went uphill and, got to me in the timeout.
Well, along the lines of giving you everything, so the women had a game that day. I was at the barn. Grim, I saw you in the media room at 7:45, 7:50, and Cade's there getting his shots up. And that's not, totally atypical. Guys have their routines, but it takes what it takes sometimes, right? I told my kids that. I said, hey, this dude had 38 points. You know what he was doing at 7:30 in the morning before their noon game? He was working on his game. And I imagine that's not rare for him.
There is not a day that goes by. Usually I get up pretty early, but then I kind of wait. I have breakfast with my kids, and then when they go off to school, I come in because that's kind of my time to see him. And there's not a day that I haven't walked in the office and he's already in there in the morning, getting up his early shot routine. And he's just got an incredible routine, incredible work ethic. He's so disciplined on what he does. And honestly, like a lot of the great ones that I've had, you almost have to try to encourage him to dial it down.
Sure.
Sometimes, hey man, you're going to need to play 40 minutes here. But it just builds confidence. And, there's one characteristic of every great shooter I've ever seen. They all have one thing in common. And I asked that to players, and they said, well, it's a footwork or his follow through. And I'm like, no, They shoot all the time. you know what I mean? Like they practice, like they're in there, and obviously there's intentional practice and great reps and all that stuff like that. But these guys are constantly in the gym working at their game, and he works as hard as any player I've been around.
What's the ballpark of like how long on a game day he's going, or even just on an off day? Like what is his day to day? And we should probably ask him, but I'm sure you have some awareness.
You know, I mean, he's going to come in and probably do about 45 minutes to an hour of intentional work. You know, there's his shot prep, his shot routine, certain amount of makes from different spots, working on some things maybe individually needs to get better at, and some of it for him too. I mean, he's really learning how to score even at another level, getting to the free throw line, scoring in the lane, improving his footwork. And so it's all those things, but he's doing that every day, on top of practice. And then, you're lifting. And then I think what those guys do too, it's all the prehab and rehab stuff, right? It's taking care of your body, what you eat, how you sleep, and just having that routine. Those habits build confidence. And so I'm saying he's putting in at least an extra hour a day, no matter what day it is. And some days, we've been going for a long time. We'll have an off day and I'm like, Cade, you got to stay out of the gym today, man, And he probably says, yeah, I got you, coach. And my guess is if I came in, he'd be in there anyway.
Right.
Which is a good problem to have.
And to kind of take a right-hand turn on this, I would, when these guys shoot, sometimes they may shoot by themselves and rebound themselves, but as a guy who yourself was a student manager, oftentimes these great shooters need someone to come in and to get up more shots in an hour. You don't want to be chasing basketballs all over the place. So I'm guessing there's some student managers that he's buddied up with that come and help with that as well.
And a lot of times it's coaches. I mean, we really pride ourselves a lot on being a development program. And like, hey, if players want to put in work, we're there to help them do it. That's what they're here for. And so he's got a great routine with guys. But yeah, I mean, managers are a part of that, coming in and helping and with rebounding, passing, different situations, whether it's, dummy defense, so to speak, of reading a screen or whatever that looks like. So it's all hands on deck.
Yeah. Were you a rebounder as a manager?
I was there to shoot, man.
You were there to shoot?
Yeah. No, I mean, you do a little bit of everything at that point in time, right? To try to get in and to try to help the guys in any situation that they can. So yeah, I've done all this. I tell John Thomas, you guys remember John?
Yeah.
Such a big physical guy, and he was here. He was no fun when you had to go against him with the pad. You know what I mean? And sometimes
you got to use a pad, right?
Sometimes, I mean, he didn't. I mean, he was so strong. I mean, you just had to, the brute force and stuff. But it was kind of fun. Sometimes, coach would just let us, hey, hit him as hard as you want. But he was the one guy who it never affected him.
Yeah. No, I still see him at Lifetime a fair amount. You need a big pad to affect him still.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
I mean,
he's still slinging it.
Oh man, I just remember by the time he got to be a sophomore, here he was so strong and just anchored and he was no fun to go against.
You had mentioned there a couple of other nice performances when you look at the box score, and one was, and we talked about it in the post-game show, Langston Reynolds 3 points. And you're like, okay, 3 points, but 10 assists, and really, and I know it's more positionless basketball that you guys kind of play once you get set, but Isaac has been basically the guy mostly bringing the ball up the floor, and Langston's been off the ball, but to get 10 assists playing mostly off the ball speaks, one, to what he sees in the offense, and two, kind of how that offense is set up.
Yeah, everybody has an opportunity to make plays, in our offense. And, I thought he did a great job. He was so unselfish, and Kay to be the first to tell you, and that's like any team. I mean, yes, he made shots, but he also had guys help him
first thing
get
he said
shots
in the post-game interview,
and to find him when he's open. And I thought Langston created a lot of opportunities for us that way. And yeah, I thought it was so valuable for him, especially early in the game too. And I guess as the game kept going on, he kept finding guys for good looks and didn't score a basket. I think it's a couple free throws, right? In the 3 free throws, I believe, in the second half, but had a huge impact on the game. And that's what it's about. It's about affecting winning. And Isaac, I thought, was terrific too. 13 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Thought he played really good defense, and I think he's really, really growing.
Yeah, he had, I think it was 5 assists, 6 assists, 5 rebounds at half. And I'm like, he may be toying with a triple-double here, depending on how the second half goes, but there weren't a lot of rebounds to be had because Cade Tyson had 11, which was nice at the double-double, and you guys were making a bunch of shots.
Yeah, I said this after the game, and again, it's like kind of what you're trying to build here. I mean, obviously with Cade, it's like the shot making speaks for itself. That's what everyone notices and you get recognition for. But honestly, the thing that impressed me the most was the rebounding and the effort. I mean, he's got a bloody lip. The game had already been decided, and he's still in there trying to fight for every rebound and playing physical and battling. And that's just a mindset that you have. And I just thought that was so awesome to see. I don't think the score didn't change anything. The fact that he had already made 7 threes or whatever didn't change at all, how he played on both ends. And so I just thought his effort on the boards was awesome.
You mentioned the last game before the finals break, which is now, I think, finals technically started last week. There's some stuff now early this week. Do you worry about that as a coach when there are like looming breaks? Because I'm sure the players, especially the ones that have been playing a long time, they're human. They're like, oh, we get a break for a minute or two after this before our next game. Do you address that with them? Do you address that as a staff? How do you handle just the ebbs and the flows of these breaks?
I think there's two things. I think, sometimes a break is good. You know what I mean? Sure. Getting a chance to kind of regroup a little bit. And maybe in our situation, too, we've got a couple other guys banged up. You get a little bit of time. But, what I've told them, and I really believe this, I think the next month here is where the teams that really play well at the end of the year kind of can make their move. So last time in the season where eventually we're not going to have class now. Got a lot more practice time. So I think we come back January 20th, I believe, somewhere around there in school. So you get a time to spend a lot of time connecting with your teammates, a lot of time getting in the gym, sure, getting in extra work, time practicing, and all that stuff. And so I think you can really improve. And so I think that's been the mindset. And you got to treat it like, hey, now they already kind of are professionals anyway, but now you really are, right? You don't even have school here for the next month. So I think this is a critical time, for us, and it is for every team. Our team last year at Colorado State, I thought, really embraced this next month to get better, and I thought that's where we took that to heart. That's where we made our move, and after the new year, we started to play like a different team.
Let's take a break because I want to go more down that storyline because I think there's some interesting things to talk about in regard to you get a week. It's basically 4 games in 4 weeks here, which means there are a lot of practice days. And you mentioned once January 10th or so hits, practice days start slimming down because you got travel, you got days off, all that stuff. So we'll do that when we come back. We want to thank Buffalo Wild Wings. They have Gopher Basketball Weekly with Niko Medved every week during the basketball season. It's the University of Minnesota location right next to Williams Arena. Buffalo Wild Wings, a proud sponsor of Gopher Athletics and the official sports bar of March Madness. Next week, we have an interesting docket for you because of the floating schedule and the holiday week next week. We will have kind of a studio show next Monday. It's next Monday, noon until 1 here. I think live, that'll be on KFAN Plus, and then you'll get to come and watch it live if you come on Monday. And then Tuesday, you can hear it live on, or taped, I guess, on KFAN. So that will be the holiday schedule next week. Monday, live, it's like the live studio audience. Here you go, next week.
I'm going to write all that. Can you write all that down for me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I will text you to make sure. I was a little worried about you showing up here at 11:59 today, in fact. Niko thought you had the day off.
Game time, on time, baby.
You were here.
Yeah.
You made it. If you're a minute early, you're how many minutes late in real life?
4.
4. Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
Very good. We'll take a break. It's Gopher Basketball Weekly with Niko Medved from Learfield.
Toyota-thon, Toyota-thon, Toyota-thon is on. Oh, what fun it is to drive a new Toyota today. Hey, Jan from Toyota here, reminding you Toyota-thon is on. Make your holiday wishes come true with the new Camry, RAV4, Tacoma, and more. All right, let's sing it together this time. Toyota-thon, Toyota-thon, Toyota-thon is
Dealer inventory may vary. Toyota-thon ends January 5th. See your participating dealer for details. Toyota, let's go places.
Small but mighty. Tough yet flexible. Bagster bags from WM mix durability with convenience for all kinds of projects. From home cleanups, renovations, and more. Bagster is a dumpster to make disposal easy. You fill it, WM collects it. To learn more, visit thebagster.com or purchase a Bagster at your local retailer. Buy, fill, gone. Bagster by WM.
Visit the University of Minnesota Bookstore, your destination for the area's largest selection of U of M and Golden Gopher apparel, gifts, and novelties for fans of all ages. From the latest styles to timeless favorites, it's your one-stop shop for all things Gophers. And when you shop here, you're giving back because every purchase directly supports the University of Minnesota. Stop by our campus location or shop anytime online at bookstores.umn.edu. Go Gophers!
Are you looking for concert or sports tickets? As a local Minnesota company, Ticket King is a company you can trust. They have seats to fit every budget and even offer parking or tailgating passes, and all tickets are guaranteed. Each order is personally attended to by one of our dedicated customer service representatives who are committed to providing you with a courteous, professional, quick, convenient experience. Visit us at TicketKingOnline.com or call us directly at 612-341-4131.
Buffalo Wild Wings has partnered with the Gopher men's basketball team for the Gophers Win You Win promotion this season. After every Gopher men's basketball victory, fans win 6 free wings. The offer is valid at participating Buffalo Wild Wings locations throughout Minnesota with a $10 minimum purchase for 2 days following each Gopher win. Fans are also invited to join the Niko Medved Coaches Show on Tuesdays from 12 to 1 at the Buffalo Wild Wings University of Minnesota location. For full details, visit gophersports.com/BWW. Buffalo Wild Wings is a proud sponsor of Gopher Athletics and the official sports bar of March Madness.
Imagine getting insider access to your favorite Gopher student athlete, exclusive events, behind-the-scenes content, and unique experiences that bring you closer than ever. That's what you get as a member of Dinkytown Athletes. With memberships starting at just $10 a month, every membership directly supports Gopher student athletes through NIL opportunities, helping them grow on campus and beyond. Take your fan experience to the next level. Visit DinkytownAthletes.com today.
You depend on CenterPoint Energy to deliver energy for what matters most to you, your neighbors, and throughout the land of 10,000 lakes, so we can all make a better tomorrow. That's why we're investing in the latest technology to reduce emissions, offer rebates on qualifying energy-efficient natural gas equipment, and provide energy-saving programs that help save you money. Look ahead at centerpointenergy.com/futuremn.
You. This holiday season, don't forget to put you on your gift list too. Treat yourself to scratch games from the Minnesota Lottery. You. Minnesota Lottery. I'm in. Must be 18 or older to play. Please gift responsibly.
Beats, bites, and big plays start here. Mystic Lake's Hop House is now open. Turn up the volume with live music every weekend. Savor all-star flavors that bring the heat, surrounded by wall-to-wall game day action. Legendary nights are on tap at the Twin Cities' newest sports bar and live music destination, Hop House. Now open at Mystic Lake Casino Hotel, proud sponsor of Gopher Athletics. Details at mysticlake.com.
It's the year-end sales event with the Ford crew.
It's sales event time, Sam.
Temperatures are dropping, but the deals are just getting hot.
Time for our annual Ford Holiday Gift Guide.
Oh, yeah.
Hard to go wrong with great deals on trucks and SUVs from Ford, America's all-time best-selling auto brand.
Don't forget the first rule of holiday gift giving, Hank.
What's that, Sam?
Always remember to treat yourself, too.
Well said.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY.
By text line. Welcome back. It's Gopher Basketball Weekly with Niko Medved. We're here at Buffalo Wild Wings on campus. We want to thank the University of Minnesota Bookstore. They are your one-stop shop for the area's largest selection of U of M and Golden Gopher apparel, gifts, and novelties for fans of all ages. From the latest styles to timeless favorites, it is your one-stop shop. Every purchase directly supports the University of Minnesota. You can shop in-store, on campus, or online at bookstores.umn.edu. It is that time of year to buy your Gopher gear for all of your family family, and friends. And, of course, if one of the benefits of coming to see the show in person, we have our sign up here. We give away a $25 gift card later on in the show. All right, so it's Campbell coming up on Sunday. You played this past Sunday, so you've got a full week, and you talked about the importance of practice. Because, as you know, you get into that January, February time between the mandatory days off, the travel days, games 2 times a week usually. The practice time does shrink, so now's the time. I think you even used the term to make hay when we talked in the pregame show, even going back to last week where there was, just one game on Wednesday from Wednesday.
Yeah, no, I think it's a critical time. And obviously we've got our challenges still with some guys out, and probably not being able to do it the way we'd love to do it. But there's still a huge opportunity to grow and get better. I think the other thing that happens is now that you've played, whatever it is, amount of games, you're able to look at your team and say, okay, this is where we're at. Maybe there's some areas we need to improve at. How can we utilize, what we have to its max? All those things. So you have a little bit better intel on your team, and maybe that gives you an opportunity to grow.
Is there, and obviously you say what you want in terms of injuries. Are there any good news updates yet on the horizon, or say what you want about the injuries?
I wish I did. I really don't, at this point. So it's still kind of a wait and see, approach. I'm not looking at anybody. Obviously, Chauncey will have surgery here, but as far as, Rob or BJ, I'm not looking at it and saying, hey, a return is imminent at this point.
Okay, gotcha.
Unfortunately.
Can guys get individually better during a season? Like, is this the time where if it's going to happen, they can do it as opposed to the off season?
100%. I think, it's one of the things we talk about too in recruiting. I think it's like, we call them daily vitamins. It's guys like Cade and these other guys continuing even throughout the season to just put in this extra work, whatever it is, footwork, finishing, shooting, reading screens or situations, defensively. I mean, you name it. And just putting in those daily vitamins and those work, and even if it's an extra 20 minutes pre or post practice, those things add up.
Yeah.
And I think throughout the year, those things continue to add up, and you can become a dramatically better player, from November until in February and in March. And I think that's a critical component. Your team gets better as individuals, continue to grow and get better. So that's a big part of it. Every day you're out there, you're trying to get better. You're trying to put together a plan for these guys to get individually better. It's the film too. I mean, you name it. And sometimes with guys, it's just helping them change even habits. It's like, hey, you got to get to sleep a little bit earlier, eat a little bit better, just have a little bit better focus in what you're doing every day in your approach, and trying to help young guys do that. And, over the course of time, that's where improvements really happen.
I'm sure we over dramatize the exit interviews for the season, because you see these guys a lot. It's not like they go off for 6 months in the summer and you never see them. But how often are you checking in with guys during the year of saying, are there regular, check-ins, or is it just more case-by-case basis on what you can improve on? Here's a couple of things maybe we should be looking at right now.
That's a great question. I think one of the things as a coach, you always looking to say, gosh, you always want, even if you're spending a lot of time with them, you even want to spend more.
Sure.
You can't spend enough. And, I try to do intentional one-on-ones with them too, but a lot of times it's just these random check-ins, about different things, or maybe you feel like a player, whether it's something you really want to encourage them about, or something you can kind of see, okay, the last few days, maybe something's going on, with this guy. Let's just kind of sit down and have a conversation. So I think those things are constant. We try to maybe, early in the year you do, middle of the year and late, you maybe have more of that intentional, one-on-one where you're like, all right, we're going to kind of go through a debrief of kind of where you're at. Some of the things you're really doing well. Here's something that we can, help you get better with. And you really want to get them talking too, and kind of see if they can understand where they're at, and kind of what their plan is to get better. And a lot of those things, guys, too, it's just what's going on with them off the court.
Right. So last one, this one's selfish, Grimmer, because I've had, I'm a coach as well, 5th grade traveling. I think we're kind of on the same level here.
For sure.
It's all coaching at that
I
level.
saw some of those games on Huddle.
Yeah. Game changer.
Incredible.
You can watch the Game Changer app. And we watch film too. Don't think we don't.
Yeah.
I've had 2 kids in the last week and a half cry because they're missing shots. Do you have any advice for me on how to help them through that?
Nikos has 3 guys on the roster now.
Well, you're doing better than I am.
And I come up and I go, what's wrong? I'm missing shots. I can't make anything. What's your best advice for me to relay to the 5th graders?
That's a great one.
That's what I'm here for.
It's funny. You go guys who have shooting slumps and all that stuff, and you tell them too, the best shooters in the world, only make 4 out of 10 threes. Do you know what I mean?
We said that last night.
Yeah, I mean, the best shooters in the world are missing 6 of every 10 threes they take. So, that's the best, right? So you got to try to get over that. And it's a hard thing emotionally, right, for young people to understand and encourage them about the other things that they can do too that are helpful when they're not, making shots. But, that's the best one that I can come up with. And then, hey, well, if you're missing shots, how much are you practicing?
Yeah, for sure. But even at your level, though, everybody wants to score, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm sure you've had to have those conversations about, look, Cade Tyson's going to take a lot of shots. Maybe here, we need you to you're a great rebounder. You're a great defender. You can help us here. There's a lot of different ways you can impact the game.
Yeah, and sometimes, too, guys like Cade, I mean, it's not, listen, I mean, these coaches are good. I mean, at some point, I thought Purdue in the second half and stuff, they're going to make you do something different. They're not just going to let you shoot shots. And so then you've got to be willing to grow as a player and be willing to do different things, see the game differently, maybe have a little bit of patience. Every game's a little bit different. You got to lose yourself sometimes in the game. And what does the game require you to do to be successful? And then I think as a coach, it's just how can you really celebrate those things? How can you make those things really, really important in your program? And we show up the next day and watch film. We're not showing the film. Oh, there's another made 3. It might be the hard cut that Bobby Durkin made that opened up, the opportunity. And that's the stuff you're praising, guys getting on the floor for a loose ball or maybe something that doesn't show up in the stat sheet. That guy really went and blocked him out off the glass, and that allowed Isaac, to get the rebound, but it was because of that effort. Or you running the floor really hard in transition, you didn't get the ball, but that opened up the opportunity for somebody else. And I think as a coach, the more you can encourage those kind of behaviors and make that a big thing in front of your team, because one thing that young people, you go, probably us too at our age, you walk into a session and boy, you can show a player doing something really well in front of their peers. I mean, you can just see their body language, pick up. And if you want to encourage the things that you want more of. And if you want those things to keep showing up, you've got to keep making a big deal and encouraging that to your team and especially among their peers.
You mentioned, and Guardsy asked you, can guys get better in season? I think I asked you this in the post game, but I think we can go down a deeper conversation on it. One of the guys was Bobby Durkin, and I remember specifically a few weeks ago you mentioning that maybe Bobby's not laterally as quick as some other guys on the team or in the Big Ten, but he's 6'7" and he's got long arms, and we have to try to get him to learn to play defense utilizing those skills and doing some things. And he had 4 steals on Sunday in that game, including the one that screwed up the 100% on the field goal to assist ratio. But how is he kind of adjusting to that, saying, all right, I've got to play defense differently, utilizing, my long arms, my length, my height. He's 6'7", and there's ways to be good defensively, even if you don't have that, that step that you can get shuffle over.
Yeah, I mean, humility is a position of strength. You got to know who you are, got to know who you're not. Then the biggest thing is you got to be comfortable with that. Okay, so here's who I am. Here are my strengths. How do I use those things to my advantage? And Bobby's an unbelievably humble, young man. And then I think what starts to happen, you start to understand that. And then I think defense is about anticipation. Obviously having length and athleticism, you can't, it's hard to make up for that. But when you can anticipate what's going to happen, you're in a stance, you're in the right position, you're playing angles the right way, you start to get a feel for what the offense is doing, and all of a sudden you find yourself in the right spots, If you're always reacting to what the offense is doing, it's difficult to play defense, even when you're athletic. You see guys at every level they come up to, it's harder and harder. It's one of the biggest things, I think, in the NBA when you watch, and Chris Finch might even say the same thing about some of his young guys. They've gotten away with some habits that aren't going to translate to the NBA, and guys who come to this level of college, it's the same thing. But he's really getting better at anticipating what's going to happen, and I think that allows him to play at a higher level. And 4 steals, man, he's turning into Larry Bird.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. That'd be great. No,
that would be great.
Keep pushing that way for sure. We're going to take a break. By the way, Sunday's game is a 5:00 tip. Campbell comes to town, the Camels, and we'll take air at 4:30. Tickets available at gophersports.com. We're due for another break. We'll take that now. When we come back, it's the long contested 2 with Justin Gard and Niko Medved. Stay with us. It's Gopher Basketball Weekly with Niko Medved from Learfield. Gopher Basketball Weekly with Niko Medved, Mike Grimm, and Justin Gard along with the head coach. We're at Buffalo Wild Wings, a proud sponsor of Gopher Athletics and the official sports bar of March Madness. We're on campus. We're live today on this Tuesday. Game Sunday. Campbell, 5 o'clock the tip. We take air at 4:30. Guardsy, you're on the road this week for women's hoops at Niko's old stomping.
The Knapp Center, we'll be there with the Bulldogs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 2 o'clock tip. 2 o'clock tip on Sunday afternoon.
Got any tips for Guardsy for the Knapp Center or Des Moines?
So what's interesting is the Knapp Center underwent a renovation after I left. So I'd be curious to see what it looks like now from when I was there. But yeah, Des Moines is a good city.
It is good. Yeah, we were there a few years ago. I think WNIT. No, actually, it was a regular season game a couple Decembers ago. And yeah, the arena's nice. They did a good job with the upgrade. Where should I go eat Saturday night? If you were in Des Moines right now?
Oh man, you're going to put me on the spot. I think somewhere out by that Jordan Creek Mall. You know, one thing, it's not like the fancy, but the place we would go, like, I don't know, 5 times a week was either the Drake Diner, which is right there,
famous,
or Jethro's Barbecue right there is pretty solid too.
So
you know what I mean? Like, so those were kind of the staples that we ate all the time that were right there by campus. Pretty good.
All right, I'm in on that.
All right, you've got the long contested too.
Yes, it is finals week, and I'm curious if there is a final that still gives you nightmares or haunts you, or that you remember from your time as a student here at the University of Minnesota.
Boy, you're really putting me
that's the long contested too. Yeah, we make you think.
The spotlight is on.
You know, I'd be, my children aren't listening, so that's good. I was one of those guys that, like, I always got it done. Do you know what I mean? I figured out how to get it done. But if I needed a B, I was getting the B. I wasn't going to get the A. If I needed a C, you know what I mean? That's kind of, I'm not proud to say that, but that's how I was. But the one thing I am proud to say is whatever was required, I was willing to do it.
Okay.
Job done. So I don't even know if there was a class, in particular. I thought probably the hardest class I took here was exercise physiology. That was difficult.
What was difficult about
just
that?
Just the science, and all that stuff. But that's not my
learn about lactic acid and all that.
Yeah, all that stuff now, and it's just like I didn't really care for it that much and like it, but that was a difficult one for me, and somehow I was able to make it through. The one thing I still don't understand, I think I took 4.5 years of Spanish in high school, and I came here and I had my the exam just to foreign language requirement, right? So I remember taking my Spanish stuff, and I remember walking like, oh my God, like I didn't learn anything in high school, and I tested out of all of it.
Oh, really?
Yes, nice. I still don't know how I did it. I didn't even have to do my foreign language requirements, so I guess I'm just brilliant that way.
Yeah. So did you go to high school for 4.5 years?
Well, that's a great. I mean, it was a 3.5. Maybe I did go for 4. Okay. Yeah, thanks for checking me on that.
I was just,
But I took Spanish every year in some form or fashion in high school, and like I never forgot. I had to go and I had to do my entry, the test, and I thought, boy, I don't know anything here. This is hard, and somehow I tested out of my. I did get out of it. Yeah.
I'm not sure if that speaks highly of like Roseville prepared you, or the U was not that strenuous. I'm trying to figure out which way to go.
It's probably all of it.
It's probably
It was probably all of it.
Could you speak Spanish in a pinch now? Did any of it continue?
Not really.
We poco?
I could do that.
We poco?
Enough to maybe get by. You got to go and immerse yourself in it to be able to do it.
Yes, that's what they say.
That's what they say.
I took Spanish too at like 5 different colleges. Didn't test out of any of them.
Yeah,
had to keep taking.
Still working on it.
Yeah, I'm still working on it. All right, so it's college football season, and it's college football playoff season, and it's coaching carousel season, and there's some jobs that are opened up right now. And I'm curious, as a guy who's been through it, how do you not focus on the outside noise, whether at any of your different stops, where I'm sure you came up for different jobs? Well, last year we're watching the Mountain West Conference tournament and going, pretty good chance Nico's going to be at the U here, and whenever this run is done, because you get asked about it, fans know it, players probably know it. What's your best advice to coaches that are going through it right now, being asked about some pretty high profile jobs?
I think, for me, the longer you do it, you kind of understand what the noise is and everything. I think it's probably important for other people to remember too. I mean, players are pretty, they get it. You know what I mean? They read it too. They understand the way that the business works. Had there been a time where, you maybe even addressed it like with your team in the right way. But I think for me, the players just always appreciated that. It never changed my approach every day on what you're doing. I think every season and every team, no matter what it is, even if you have a lot of guys returning, you have that one moment in time, right? And I think just focusing on that, on the one moment in time that we have right now, here's our opportunity. This team will never be together this way in this circumstance ever again. So let's just pour our hearts into that. And you just realize how fleeting all of this is. So you try to put your energy there. You answer the questions the right way. But, a funny thing is that I would always tell people is, listen, our business, usually one of two things is happening, right? There's either rumors about you losing your job or the rumors about you maybe getting another one isn't that true?
Yes.
You know what it feels like. And so I'd rather be part of a program that you're winning a lot where, people are looking at what you're doing and the success that you're having, and people maybe want to find ways to be a part of that or see what you're doing. And so I think that's the blessing in it. But it isn't. It's a tricky thing to navigate, especially with the schedule, that we have right now with the portal window and the bowls and in our case, the tournament in March. But it is what it is. But I think players probably understand the business more than we give them credit for.
Well, Lane Kiffin even said this year, players, same thing's happening for them in some cases. That might be a cynical thing to say, right? But there's that thing going. So I'm curious about, you mentioned the longer that you've been in it. Is that something you had to learn to make the main thing and just be present with the group? Yeah, I just think you continue to get better at it. As time goes by, you understand what it is. Like you said, keeping the main thing. After you've been through it for several times and several years, it's just kind of, you know what I mean? You don't really let it. Yeah. You don't really let it phase you. That way. So I never really had much of an issue doing that. I'd never changed how I coached or how I approached the guys. And you get a read for them. If you feel like there's something you need to address, you do. But I think that's your foundation. And again, it's just this year, this moment in time. This is what we're focused on right here. And I think the people would say that the places that I've been and the people that I've worked with, I think they'd appreciate how we've always handled that. There's no good way to answer the question publicly, is there?
No, and people, can you comment? And no, I can't comment, Right. I don't, and people are doing their jobs, right? Right. For asking about it. And there is no way to answer, but I'll say this, and, the media folks in Colorado last year, I had a great relationship with them. They were critical when they needed to be, but I know they knew I was always going to answer the questions. I was a stand-up guy. They had every reason last year to keep asking me questions during the Mountain West tournament and the NCAA tournament, and you know what? They never did.
I noticed that.
And I thanked them all after. I called them all personally, and I said, thank you for doing that. And I think everybody knew what it was, but they also knew that, man, this team is just having a magical run. And I'm enjoying it too, and I don't want to take away from that. He's getting asked a question. They all knew what it was. And they probably too, because in years past there have been rumors about jobs or whatever, and so I think I just really appreciated them handling that way. And that doesn't mean that they had to, or that but they did. And but you're right. Going back to your original question, there's no way to really answer those questions to anybody's satisfaction.
Yeah, well, and it's a weird dynamic in that people take different jobs all the time. And we're not asking, hey, what do you think about this gig? Or, hey, your name, it's a unique profession in that way.
Mm-hmm. And for me personally, and I hope the fans understand this, I loved Colorado. I wasn't taking any job. This is not any job.
Right.
This is a really, really special job and a special opportunity for me here, and one that I can't even begin to explain how excited I am. I know what the challenge is, but it's just something that means the world to me. And so this isn't any job, and I'm here because this is where I feel like I'm meant to be, and I'm so excited about it. And the people have been unbelievable. And so this isn't just it's a Big Ten job. This is the University of Minnesota. This is the job that I've always wanted, and I'm ready to rock.
I like it. You can clap for that, by the way. You don't have to sit. All right. Lastly, rate yourself, because I'm going to be gone next week. I'll be at the bowl game, so Christmas will be a few days away. Rate yourself as a gift giver.
Oh, man. B, I would say. You know what I mean?
It's like the finals. Yeah. You needed to be.
B. Yeah, B. Every once in a while, I'll come. I'm curious to see what my wife thinks of the present I'm getting her right now. I think it's pretty good. But
you believe in it?
I do. I believe in it.
You think she'll give you a B, though?
She'll probably give me an A, but deep inside she might say B. You know what I mean? But I actually did put some thought into it, you know. So I think it's pretty good. But I'm just okay. And like for some people too, you know, like whatever, you know, staff or other people, just go with the gift card, make it easy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've kind of bailed and done the gift card route.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, I agree, but. It's like I kind of thought about you, but not a ton. You know, like I could have got you something specific.
You check the box.
But also, gift card, you can get whatever you want with it. So there's that freedom of choice too, which I think is important.
It's kind of like politics. It's you're checking the box. Do you know what I mean? But you really can plausibly say, "But I really wasn't." Listen, this is good for you. This is really good for you. You can get whatever you want. That's how much I cared.
I've given you the freedom.
Get you what I thought you wanted. You can go ahead and get what you want.
You weren't going to assume.
Exactly.
And maybe it says something about how I buy gifts. I ask my kids what they want, and they just say cash.
Yeah.
You know, they don't want me buying them a present.
Just Venmo me
just give me some money.
Venmo me something.
Whatever. Gift card would work too.
Do you sense, whether it's from your family or your wife or your friends or your staff, is there a pressure once you become a head coach and a Big Ten head coach? Like you can't be getting the same gifts, you know, when you were at Drake. You know, have you sensed as you've moved up in jobs that there's more pressure on you, or is everything
for me to come through? For other
you've got to come through. Like they're going to go, really, Nico? You know, I mean, the same thing you got me 15 years ago when you were an assistant here.
Well, I mean, they don't have to like it. You know what I mean? Like, we do a cool thing in my immediate family though. Instead of us having to get gifts or best, we just do the name drawing. You know, it's like I've got my mom this year, right? So that's an easy one, right? I got my mom, and we'll do that, so I don't have to go everybody, right? Because that could be stressful.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, I think we've gone that way too.
Yeah, so I don't want to have that stress. So thank God I don't have that in my life. So I've got my mom this year, obviously my wife and children, and even the people on my staff. They're fine. You know what I mean?
They're good.
Yeah, they're fine. Yeah, they're good. Yeah.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah. There you go, Grandma.
All right, very good. Yeah. Long contested too, as always.
We're going to follow up if your wife liked the present too.
Yeah, that'll be.
Yeah, the first week of January, we'll follow up to see what the reaction was.
All right, we have our final segment. We'll give away the gift card here during the break. That's all straight ahead. It's Gopher Basketball Weekly with Niko Medved from Learfield.
Gopher fans know the power of a great team. M Health Fairview University of Minnesota Medical Center is ranked the #1 hospital in the Twin Cities by U.S. News and World Report. This is more than an award. It's a reflection of our team of doctors, nurses, and staff who deliver world-class care so you can be at the top of your game. As the official healthcare provider of Gopher Athletics, M Health Fairview is proud to serve people across the state.
Midland Hills Country Club offers a wonderful setting for any of your upcoming holiday events. Our facilities and excellent food and service are sure to exceed your expectations. Let our professional staff guide you in making your event a memorable one. Come experience what Midland Hills has to offer. We're conveniently located in Roseville, just 10 minutes from either downtown area. Visit midlandhillscc.org.
I'm Clay Geary, former wide receiver for the Minnesota Gophers.
And I'm Ben Utek, U of M alumni, Super Bowl champion, and Tony Dungy Uncommon Award winner.
We understand championship culture, which is why we are part of the True North family of companies.
True North invests in only elite teams, like the champion team at True North Mergers and Acquisitions, Minnesota's largest seller of companies. To learn more about True North and our diverse family of independently owned companies, visit thetruenorthfamily.com.
Toyota-thon, Toyota-thon, Toyota-thon is on. Oh, what fun it is to drive a new Toyota today. Hey, Jan from Toyota here, reminding you Toyota-thon is on. Make your holiday wishes come true with a new Camry, RAV4, Tacoma, and more. All right, let's sing it together this time. Toyota-thon, Toyota-thon, Toyota-thon is
Dealer
on.
inventory may vary. Toyota-thon ends January 5th. See your participating dealer for details. Toyota, let's go places.
The tape show Monday, so we'll look forward to seeing everybody here Monday next week at noon. We want to thank Michael Tackett, our in-studio producer, Tom Ewing, Dan Robotham, our on-site engineers, Joe DeSimon, thanks to him, also Michelle Train-Traversy for their great work here, as always, as they get the show organized. You mentioned the importance of practice time this time of year, so I looked this up this morning because I wanted to ask you specific about it. You mentioned in the pregame show as well that your Colorado State team last year really got better. We know how that team did, finished 21-10. 1-10, went to the NCAA a whisker away from making the Sweet 16, all kinds of success. Do you know what your team's record was 1 year ago today?
I don't, but it wasn't very good. 6-5.
5-5.
5-5.
And then a year ago tomorrow, you beat Radford to go to 6-5, which is the record that you currently own with the Golden Gophers.
Oh, is that where we're going?
So that's
here?
where I'm headed with that. So, I mean, nothing major, but can you win, 20 of the next 25?
Well, anything's possible,
There you
right?
go,
right? It is funny. The other day we were talking about that. I was looking at some old practice plans and stuff from last year, and just kind of digging around. And we went 16-4 in the Mountain West last year.
You won 11 straight in February.
11 straight in February. It was crazy how we just kind of kicked it in gear. But we had a huge win. I remember right after Christmas, we won at Nevada in a huge game, and we really kicked it in gear after that. So your trivia. Can I tell you this about Grim? This is what I love. Grim's always got all this great trivia.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting ready to play Texas Southern, right? And we're sitting there in the morning. We're doing the radio shows. Hey, Niko, do you remember Texas Southern? If you remember this or not, Texas Southern came in here and we're ranked 15th in the country, and they came in here and beat us by 20. And it's kind of going through all these stats. I'm well, thanks for improving my morning here, Grim.
Yeah.
We're getting ready to play Texas Southern or whatever. But that was a remarkable turnaround. And I don't know if we've got 20 or 25 in us, but the whole idea is we've just got to keep growing. We've got to get better.
Yeah. And
by the way, my morning was also ruined, not because I was on that team or part of that team, but because Grim told me that same story 30 minutes before he told you, because I was also at the barn, and he told me way more details than I ever needed to know, and made me late for Coach Plitzolite in our pregame interview.
Yeah. Well, hey.
But I know about the 94 Texas Southern team if it ever comes up on Buffalo Wild Wings trivia.
Yeah, you've got all the info you need. No doubt about it. That was an NCAA tournament team.
Oh, boy.
And I'm just kidding. I mean, they were, but anyway, down the road we go. What was it last year? Do you think that you lost to Riverside, right? UC Riverside. That couldn't have been the brightest day of the season last year for you. And then what was it, do you think, at this time of year that flipped it?
I think, I'll give our team a ton of credit. I think really embracing the things we were talking about is, hey, we just kind of needed to let go of any expectations of what anyone else thought or them, and we just need to dig in and work. Got an opportunity here in this next month to just focus on getting better every day, individually and as a team, and as coaches and all of us. We had the right group of guys, and guys starting to kind of get comfortable with maybe their role and what we needed to do. Maybe changed a couple things up in practice, focused a lot more on ourselves than who we were playing. And then sometimes it's funny how you just kind of need one of those games to go your way, right? You're in a dogfight with somebody, and guy makes a couple of big plays. We drill a huge critical shot, with a minute to go, and you steal a huge win, and all of a sudden you just sort of feel like, all right, here we go, and you don't flinch. And so I think all those things, play into it. Every team, every situation's different. The one thing that just never changes is you've just got to continue to focus and get better. Even if we were 10-1, I mean, you start resting on your laurels at all and start thinking, oh boy, we're really good. Listen to all these people tell us how good we are, and boy, we're gonna go to the NCAAs, and this team's got a chance to go to the Sweet 16. Man, you start listening to that the same way you start listening to everybody telling you you're no good. It just, what does Nick Saban call it? Rat poison.
Yep.
That's not the way this stuff works. Things change very, very quickly in either direction, and so you've really got to try to be where your feet are. Stay in the moment and get better. And that's our charge right now. We've got to improve, and I'm no different. I know these guys no different than what Matt Painter or Tom Izzo or those guys are trying to do the same thing, but it's easier said than done.
Yeah. Well, my question isn't going to make any sense now because you said where your feet are. My question was going to be, how aware are you at this point of the year of everything else that's going on in the Big Ten? How are you checking in? Obviously, the records, who's playing, but do you have staff members that are grabbing stuff on your first couple Big Ten opponents once you get back? How does that work?
We've got all that, but it's funny you asked that. I'd say maybe that's another thing. Even last year, just kind of even let. I don't know who we're playing in 2 weeks. I really don't care what San Diego State's doing or what Michigan State's doing right now. That has no impact on us today.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, well, I don't control what they're doing or who's playing, how well they're playing or anything like that. The only thing we control is how we're doing. And I think sometimes allowing yourself to just let go of all those things and just focus on your own house. You know what I mean? I think that's really empowering. Listen, I watch the games. I mean, I have a chance to watch most of the teams in the Big Ten and kind of have an understanding of what's going on. But again, I don't know who these guys are. Most of them are on finals, play in the next game. But whatever happens in the Michigan State, whoever game has no impact on what's going to happen with us in practice tomorrow, or against Campbell on Sunday. And so we've just got to worry about that. And then as we get ready to play these teams, we'll turn our attention that way.
Just a few seconds left here, a half a minute or so. Have you guys dived into Campbell yet, or will that come later in the week?
Yeah, again, they're all difficult. On paper, this will be the most difficult of the quote-unquote bye games. I think they do a really, really good job. They give West Virginia a game. They were in it with Wisconsin. And people like that, they're going to look at the score and they'll say, well, Wisconsin, blew up. But that was a close game until the last 6-7 minutes of the game. They're very well coached. They're very physical. They've got a plan. So it will be a challenge for us. They all are.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, we'll see you Sunday.
See you Sunday.
5 o'clock tip, 4:30. We will take air. We want to thank everybody for coming. Great to see everybody. For Justin Gard and Niko Medved, this is Mike Grimm, and this has been Gopher Basketball Weekly with Niko Medved from Learfield.